Hey everybody, this is John for MTG Nexus coming at you with some more modern action. This time we are going with Rakdos Prowess, the deck that has kind of been dominating the format of late in the hands of people like Canister. I think Yama Killer's played it and a few other people have been working on this deck. It's kind of a twist on the Boros style that was kind of all the rage for a couple weeks and then kind of fell off as people adapted to technology that was available to the deck with Lurrus of the Dream Den along with the Mishra's Bauble plan, etc., either by going over the top of it or completely ignoring it. This deck attacks on a little bit of a different angle. Don't know if it's actually better or not. I guess we'll find out. As a friendly reminder, if you like what you're seeing on the channel, you like modern content especially, a little bit of Pioneer sprinkled in, and you like anything to do with the card Lightning Bolt, please consider subscribing to our channel, as we tend to aim more towards the Lightning Bolt end of things, so decks like Jund, Resist Shadow, Burn, Prowess, etc. And let's get into the action here. So what is this deck doing? What is it trading the white cards for the black cards for? So first off, there's a little bit of hand disruption here. Gives you a little bit more idea of what you're dealing with your opponent. Gives you a little bit more interaction with whatever your opponent's doing, whether they are a combo deck, whether they are a control deck, etc. You can kind of disrupt their game plan a little bit, as opposed to just bolts and stuff that aim at their face. Which approach is better, I don't honestly know, but I guess we'll find out. Let's play it and find out. Beyond that, you're playing 4 copies of the card Cling to Dust. So this is a weird one. I didn't quite understand what the aim of this particular card was for a long time. And then someone, I forget who was explaining, was basically this took the place of cards like Crash Through, but it's a more repeatable source of card advantage, because in the mid game you can go 3 and a black, escape 5 other cards, and draw another card. So this is kind of like a, not really a Faithless Looting-esque effect, but something that allows you to continue to have momentum as long as you have this card in your graveyard, which is an interesting take on things. Beyond that, you also have access to Fatal Push as opposed to Path to Exile. In a lot of situations, Fatal Push is just the superior card. You're not giving your opponent lands. You're not making it easier for your opponent to progress their game plan by handing them a 2-for-1. Beyond that, you're doing a lot of the same prowess things. You got some lava darts, you've got metamorphoses, you have 14 creatures in this build, 4 Swifty, 4 Soulscar Mage, 4 Abbot of Carol Keep, and interesting 2 copies of Kiln Fiend. Now, Kiln Fiend is a card that threatens a kill on turn 3, or a virtual kill on turn 3. If you can chain a couple of spells, this card could easily hit for, 7, 10, 13 damage on turn 3 without even really trying. It's a very scary card. Without any type of trample effects, it gets a little bit worse, but when you're playing as many bolt effects as this deck tends to do, Kiln Fiend is a very real threat and gives you kind of a combo-esque ability to end the game. Beyond that, you're playing a couple copies of Seal of Fire, a couple copies of Mishra's Bauble, or 4 copies of Mishra's Bauble to pair with your Lurrus as your kind of card advantage engine in the mid game. And then beyond that, you have Abbot of Carol Keep to keep the cards flowing, and then 1 copy of Kolaghan's Command to kind of be in a grindier match setup. This also gives you another out to things like Chalice of the Void, which otherwise can be problematic for your mostly 1-drop deck. No, and one of the things that I kind of like in this build, and we'll see how it plays out, is no light up the stage. So you're not playing any awkward cantrips. I guess that's kind of where Cling in the Dust comes in. Beyond that, your sideboard, you've got a lot of the same tools you have on your main deck. You have 2 copies of Nihil Spell Bomb and 1 Engineer Explosives, which are mainly the differences between the main deck and the sideboard. Obviously, Spell Bomb is pretty good in kind of grindy graveyard-based matchups, whether it be any style of interactive matchup with Lurrus, whether it be against Dredge, Living End, Storm, any of that kind of nonsense. Gives you a nice little hedge there. Also cantrips, you have an Engineered Explosives here for any type of needing extra removal against things like Tarmogoyf, Death Shadow, etc. You also have 2 more copies of Fatal Push, which are nice in a lot of spots, whether it be, against the early creatures of Eldrazi Tron, Burn, Jund, etc., etc. This card is pretty nice to have access to as opposed to Path to Exile. 2 additional copies of Thoughtseize when you need to disrupt your opponent a little bit more. I'm guessing that the ideal sequencing is like turn 1 Prowess creature, turn 2 Prowess creature Thoughtseize, or turn 1 Thoughtseize, turn 2 play your Killing Fiend, and then hopefully set up to kill them on turn 3. 1 copy of Unearth for kind of the grindier matchups. 3 copies of Collective Brutality for some combo-based decks, as well as pretty decent against Burn or Prowess Mirrors. And 2 copies of Smash to Smithereens, pretty good against anything like Chalice of the Void and such. And then 1 additional copy of Kolaghan's Command for your grindy matchups. So that said, let's get into a league and see how this does. I have never played this particular variant of the deck, so we will see how it goes. This could be, the next coming of the best deck in the format. This could also just be a flash in the pan that gets snuffed out by Wizards' companion announcement on Monday. So, a couple of things. We will be doing regular Lurrus Burn tomorrow. And depending on how... No, Lurrus isn't getting... Okay, so there's no change to the modern format, but they announced that there's going to be a change to the companion mechanic. So, how that affects whether, you have to put the card in your hand and mulligan down, whether it, it's really kind of hard to say what Wizards is going to do in their infinite wisdom. So, hand's pretty solid. We'll get to try out Cling to Dust, see how that goes. We have the 1-drop into 1-drop into, yeah, so. No ban hammers, but they did announce that there's going to be a change to the mechanic. As to what? Don't know. There's been a lot of speculation, a lot of chatter on Twitter, a lot of wishful thinking from people. I personally don't know, and I'm not going to speculate. I'm just going to react, pretty much. Oh, Eldrazi Tron! Yay! I love Eldrazi Tron. Oh, no, there's no misconception. There's going to be changes to the format. It's just a matter of time. No. Play Soulscar Mage first. Hopefully we don't get Chalice next turn. If we get Chalice, we're going to be a very sad puppy, but, that's the risk you play when you play against Eldrazi Tron. Okay, please just be popping your map. Don't actually have a Chalice. And, okay, you're just putting a Matter Shaper on the battlefield. Challenge accepted. Woohoo! Actually, that's not quite as good, huh? Because of the nature of the helpful hardware place. Yeah. That card isn't quite as good here this turn. I think we're actually going to use it next turn. Because we need to get Swizzle Stick into play here. Goodbye, so long, farewell. Scavenger Grounds. That one's mildly annoying. Don't want to crack Mishra's Bauble until their turn, most likely. Do you have a Thunk Nut? Could still have a Thunk Nut here. Walking Ballista or Chalice? Walking Ballista. Challenge accepted. They're drawing an expedition map. Cling to Dust. Cling to Dust. Well, hello there. I think we've drawn a few too many Clings to Dust. Red, black. Mishra's Bauble. Yay! Bolchu. And they just... Okay. I am completely confuzzled. So we know they're drawing an expedition map. Here comes a smasher, smasher man. They've got a smasher, smasher man. Ting tang, wada wada bing bang, ooh ee, ooh ah ah, ting tang. Think you're dead next turn, my friend. They're drawing a blast zone. That's scary. Land into land. Thoughtseize. Triggers. There's a Reality Smasher. Get a Into Dust. Draw a card. Seal of Fire. Triggers. Dude! This deck's gas. Incoming Salt. So, Eldrazi Tron. Kulagon's command is okay, but not fantastic. Smash to Smithereens is okay, but not fantastic. Inquisition is rather questionable. Thoughtseize could be alright. How many Fatal Pushes do we want? So it only clears out Thunknut and Matter Shaper. I think that's good enough, right? That maybe go down to Manny. Got 4 Shatter effects. Got a Lurrus. Got a Thoughtseize. We got some Prowess guys. I'll keep a 7-carder, which means we're gonna have to Thoughtseize on one. Yay! Thoughtseize. Matter Shaper, Matter Shaper. It's got a Blast Zone, which is a bit annoying. Oh, they also have Natty Tron too. You know, so they're gonna honk about us and our draws, but you know, it's cool if they go Natty Tron, right? Pleasures of modern and play versus draw. Yep. Hey, another Thoughtseize. I think I'm going to do this. Free spells for everybody. Another land. Triggers. Get a Reality Smasher. I'll go ahead and Thoughtseize you, because I can. Reality Smasher and a bunch of lands. Even grab a basic swamp here and not feel bad about it. I'm taking Smuggler's Copter. Draw a card. Dismember, sure. Which member? Dismember. Interesting. So we burned a lot of resources last turn, didn't put us in the best of shape, but okay. Jealous! Yep. Cool. Yep. Yield through the turn. Okay. Well, that's a bit of a pickle we're in. Okay, target player discards card. Destroy target artifact. Obviously, we're not in the greatest of shape here, but we're still in shape, I guess. Let's take this hit. Prowess is certainly capable of annihilating from this point. Dalosaurus. Ha. Let's go into 13. Triggers. How you doing, bro? Sure. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to block, say okay. And we're going to kill our own guy, deny them the lifelink. Oof. Really? It'll get a little hot in here for our opponent. So we're going to do this. Then we're going to go destroy target artifact, deal 2 damage. Do that. Do that. That. Triggers. Two, 5, 8, 11. And we're going to cast Thoughtseize. 4 triggers. I can, but I was hoping to clear out the token during a lethal attack instead of them having it bounce to their hand and then replay it the next turn and not really gaining any value for the fatal push. I was planning on holding the Fatal Push as long as possible to clear out the blocker. And using our life total as a resource to get back at the... Feels good to annihilate the Eldrazi Tron menace. So, I'm not sure this deck is better than red-white, but it's different. Alright. Hi, and good luck. Up against the Purple Mage. Hand has no threats. Am I supposed to keep a hand with no threats except Lurrus? Sure, why not? Inquisition. Well then. One would say, I think we're in trouble. Another Noble Hierarch, sure. So obviously we're not in the greatest of positions because of the particular nature of a hand that I kept, but I don't think our opponent's exactly removal heavy with the basis of their deck, so are they going to have a Path to Exile? Okay, they are not. So what we're going to do is we're going to bobble you. Oh, they're just drawing a third Kitchen Finks, because, you know, why not? Bobble in the bobble. Gobble, gobble, bobble, bobble. Opponent's hand is Ranger Captain. So use the Verdant Catacombs. So our hand is Ranger Captain Temple Garden, I think. Drawing a land, sure. Soulscar Mage and Bobble. So we're going to Soulscar Mage, Bobble, cast the Bobble. Fling the Dust is such an interesting card. Oh, looks like they're not doing Rage Order. Just thinking, sure. Ranger Captain, sure. Do you go get Death Shadow or Giver of Runes? Probably Giver of Runes. Walking Ballista. Well, that one's mildly annoying. Birds of Paradise. So I'd love to draw a discard spell, anything really. Abbot on top. And let's go ahead and do that. Just see a bunch of cards here. Play Abbot. So, still really would like to draw a discard spell this turn, although I just don't see it happening. So what are we drawing? Drawing a Swift Spear. Trigger. Cling to Dust. Ballista is going to be annoying. Means they get to clear out Lurrus. Yep. Why is it saying there's a point of damage on... I was going to say, why is it saying there's a point of damage on that? Still think, despite Lurrus going bye-bye, that we are probably winning this game. Oof. That's a heck of a draw. See what you got. Is your collected company kind to you, friend? Looks like, unfortunately, that it was very nice to them. Sure. Got a bird. Swift Spear. Sure. Kill bird. I think the damage is already done, friend. What a crazy game. Really? Okay. Three, 6, 9, 16. Do I have another land to fetch in my deck? I don't think I do. Nope, all my fetchables are currently in play. Sure. It's lethal regardless, even if I left black a blocker, because I can't block any other stuff. I'm an idiot. Alright. Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, definitely Endadel. This person, obviously, doesn't like losing to mono red. So. Field pushes seem good. He might be okay. Bombs could potentially be okay. Specifically because of whatchamacallits. These cards are kind of eh. Cards are not good overall. Kiln Fiend isn't great. Cooldown's Command could potentially be good. Problem is there's like so many cards that we potentially want. Like, we're not being Oriok champion, I don't think, regardless, so maybe we're supposed to leave in some discard. I don't know. This is where not having the reps with this particular deck is kind of annoying. Yeah, will Lurrus still be playable? Absolutely. It depends on how they, like, implement the particulars of the mechanic or whatever they do to it. Guess this hand's fine. A little bit risky with the one-lander, but I think the ability to tag there. Okay. Makes me wonder if my opponent brought in Veil of Summer. Nope, they brought in Path to Exile. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, we'll be really sad when they realize we didn't have a second land. Of course, they probably have an Oriok champion with us start, would be my guess. So that'll be a challenge in and of itself. And yep, Oriok champion confirmed. Oh, just Abrupt Decay? Alright, so you're on the all removal spell plan. Okay. I see this working out great for our opponent. I don't know what could possibly go wrong against the Lurrus deck. Okay, sure. Other Abbot's a little unfortunate. Shall we play a game of chicken? Okay. But I like the game of the chicken. Okay. Takes 4 here. Alright, what you got? Well, it's got a Vizzy Seer going to 6. Alright. Alright, there's another land. That goes to 7. Go ahead and do that. Triggers. Sure. Is there opponent conceding? Okay, opponent is conceding. Is my game plan supposed to change on the draw? Opponent obviously has a good number of cards that are difficult for us to beat. I still don't think I'm supposed to bring in discard spells. Maybe over the 2 spell bombs, I bring in like 2 Inquisitions or 2 Thought Seizes. Sure. Not the best of hands, but I think this is a keep. Sure. Distance attacking here. Yeah, main deck Warrior Champion is just hard no matter how you cut it. Heliod. Trigger. Draw a card. Things on top. That's a rough one to beat. So we need to find our one-of copy of E. Spike Feeder. That's infinite, isn't it? Yep. That was fun. Hard to beat the deck with the infinite life combo and the insane Coco skills. That said, we ripped extremely well during the one portion of the Eldrazi Tron matchup, so I can't be too salty there. So how's everyone doing tonight? Hopefully you're having a good evening, good morning, good night, wherever you are. Don't know if this deck's great, but it feels pretty good. Cling to Dust. Whoever thought that 4 of this deck's pretty insane. The fact that this just gets to be incidental graveyard hate and, you know, a good... I have an idea, and it's freaking crazy. Can't keep us in, unfortunately. It's the Lurrus deck. We're on the draw. Alright. Hand feels much better on the draw. Bring back a land, I think. Oh, we're actually on the play. Alright. Ah, we're up against Jund. Nice. Sure. Blackleaf Cliffs. Likely not getting a card advantage out of this, but... Bolt. Nice! Curious why you would push Swift Spear over Abbott there. Guess in the end it may not matter if they have multiple removal spells. Tarmogoyf. Oh? Okay. I am confuzzled. It has an Inquisition. Well then, all right. That's a hand. See if they let us. Okay, they let that resolve. Okay. Now they're going to be a little bit awkward on mana. Sure. Okay. Pretty much. Oh, this is just a GG. Nice. See an entire handful of removal spells. Doesn't matter. I don't think we want to try to... we don't really want to try to exchange attrition with Jund. So what we're going to do is... we're going to bring in some answers to their stuff. I think we bring in an Earth. We could bring in the Spell Bombs, but I think that might be a bit much. I guess Lava Darts are kind of underwhelming here. Unless we specifically see Dark Confidant. But I think we want to be on the overwhelm your kill spells plan. Hey, I think this hand's a keep. They can't take our lands, so... But they can take our spells! Okay. Sure. Which one of my many pieces of whatever would you like? Probably Kolagon's Command. Nope, they take Swizzle Spear. Okay. I can respect that. My deck hates me sometimes. So... going to do this. Going to play out one Mishra's Bauble. I got two Mishra's Bauble. So the reason I'm doing this is I really need to hit land drops, so even though I'm missing out on some damage, I don't think in the end it's going to particularly matter if I don't hit my land drops anyway. So during their upkeep, we're going to trigger one Mishra's Bauble. Blackcleave Cliffs. Nurturing Peatland. Triggers. Woo-hoo-hoo! That was close. I think we want Abbott to try to draw us a land next turn, so for now, I'm going to do this. If they have Engineered Explosives next turn, it's kind of whatever. Oh, push it. Push it good. Only one removal spell there feels a little disingenuous. Feels bad to play this pre-combat, but, you know. Well, hello there. Hello, Hamora. Oof. Sure. Opponent with all the kill spells in the world. The Blood Crypt there. Klingon to dust. Jund removal spells dot deck. Curious. Very, very curious. Kulagon's Command, eh? So, I'd like us to discard a card. I am going to chew up your Nurturing Peatland, draw a card. Womp, womp, womp. Sure. Okay. Possible I was supposed to hold the whatchamacallit there. Fatal Push. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can. Actually, maybe I should have held the land? Question mark. 4, 8. Yeah, discarding the Fatal Push there was actually incorrect. Because now I do get to deal a ton of damage this turn. Don't think it's going to quite be enough. I think Fatal Push in combination with the rest of what we had going on might have been enough here, but interesting. Awkward. Because they also have a Lurrus chilling out over there. Yeah, no holding on to that Fatal Push I think is going to end up costing us here. Playing this for 0 So the rationale behind that is... Actually, there is no rationale behind that. Because if Lurrus lives, then we can just replay the Engineer Explosives for whatever cost we need to. If it doesn't, we're in trouble anyway, so... So many small errors have led to this conclusion. Yeah, we're just down here. Small errors with my sequencing just lead to this conclusion, unfortunately. Still don't think I want discard spells. It's pretty good. Okay. Swift Spear, Swift Spear. No removal spell on one. Seems ambitious. Sure. Okay. A lot of Mishra's Baubles. Colgan's Command's an interesting one. So, what is our game plan here? Cling to Dust, see what we draw. I'm going to obviously leave one Cling to Dust in our hand. That's a nice one. Alright. Eat your bust. Take Fatal Push. Alright. Do you have a monster to play in defense mode? Tarmogoyfin. It's Goyfin time! So... if I chomp the Mishra's Bauble... feels like a bit of a gamble here. It's Goyfin time! Alright, so do this. They take 6, 8, 10. My math correct? Feel like it's that. Do this. Trigger that. Unless they busted out Obstinate Baloth and a Lurrus deck, I think we're good. Goodbye, friend. Alright, 2 and 1. Beat, what the heck do we play round 1? Eldrazi Tron, Abzian, Devoted Druid dot life gain every frickin' which way dot deck, and now Lurrus Jund. Oh, we're up against Tron. This is going to be fun. Gigantha. Keeping in mind, Kill Fiend does not trigger off of oh. Map or Relic? Okay, Relic's mildly annoying, but kind of whatever here. Don't think this is particularly a Relic kind of game. Sure. You are drawing all this dust. Dotsies. Cast this. Either the draw and the owl is dust. Sure, get rid of the land. Sure. Stern, sure. Golos. Alright. They're drawing a Thrag Tusk. Cling to Dust is not terrible here, so start by casting Thoughtseize. Don't know if we quite have lethal this turn, but we can at least try to blow up what they're doing. So they have Tower. They already have Mine, so they will have Tron next turn, which is unfortunate. If we take the Dustbuster, go ahead and Cling to Dust that. Hope we draw another 1-mana spell. Well, not just any 1-mana spell, the 1-mana spell that kills you. Sweet. Okie dokie. We are up against the Tron player. So. Fatal Pushes. Inquisitions can probably go. Thoughtseizes are interesting. Smashes are interesting. Kolaghan's Command's probably interesting. No, 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 maybe, no. Can't keep this hand. Opponent's keeping 7, which is unfortunate. I think if this is as close as a 6 as we're going to keep. Probably get rid of... I don't know what's the correct thing to get rid of here. Is it crazy to get rid of Bobble here? Feels like this hand's going to be too slow, but, you know, at least we have a chance, I suppose. Alright. Play that tapped, pass turn. Spatial Contortion? Warping Well. Okay. Figured this game was going to be the tough one. It's really hard to beat Natty Tron on 7, you know? Hex Drinker? Okay. Interesting tech. I think it's a little too cute against a deck that's going to be still leaving in some amount of its bolts, but, you know. See if they have the 5-colored rainbow land nonsense. Yeah, Tectonic Edge plays some weird tech. This isn't the first time I've seen the Golos field deck, or Golos, whatever deck. He's basically, all he does is play Tron. He has a YouTube channel, I'm familiar with it. So, but he's usually like a week or two behind the matches that he's playing. Screwed up, I shouldn't have played my land there. Alright, that's pretty reasonable. Still don't think we're winning this particular game, but, you know, can at least give it a good try. Yeah, the Hex Drinker tech's a little weird, but you can understand the reasoning behind it. Like, if you have Tron, it's like a mini Progenitus. Oh, it gets Blast Zone, sure. Okay. Another Worm Coil. Oh, Giganta. Drag Tusk. Nope, just Giganta. Alright. I think we're pretty well dead here, but give it one more draw step. Trigger. Alright. Now we get to be on the play. still don't think I bring in any fatal pushes. I think our 8 answers to Hexy is good enough. And to be fair, they've had their God Hand twice, and it's 1-1. This hand would be great if we had lands. This hand would likewise be great if we had lands. This hand is terrible. But I think we have to keep. Back Metamorphose and Clean the Dust, I guess. See what they're drawing first. They're drawing an expedition map, which is a little unfortunate. Yep, that's going to guarantee Tron for them. Okay, I'll take one expedition map. Hope we rip a land and can blow up the other one. On deck, give me land! Said land, not Thoughtseize. Opponent's going to be able to assemble Tron, which is unfortunate. Take the threat we can't beat, or their source of green mana. Hey, at least we have a second land, right? Trigger, unless we hit a bobble. This is kind of a wasted thing, but we do need to get a threat on the board. And we hit a Kiln Fiend. Yay! Okay. So opponent will have Tron. Do they have a payoff? Amazingly, they don't. Bolt your face. Bolt, bolt your face. All right. Of course, they draw the sphere. Guess I should have taken Thragtusk. Goes to 18. You know what always goes well? Playing a long game against Tron. Sure. Pass. Hold up smash here. Wow, opponent's feeling bold. Sure. One. Alright. I would say that was fun, but I don't like to lie. One more match. Alright, run the play, which is nice. Opponent likely also on a companion deck. They are also on a Lurrus deck. Can we keep the one lander? Sure. Jund, 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 Jund. Could be rock still, I suppose. More likely rock now, I suppose. Okay. Really, deck? One of my 2-mana spells would you like? Anamorphous. Okay. Feels more and more like we're up against rock. Nope, Jund. Okay. Okay. What do we do to reduce Goyf's size? It's only one sorcery, correct? Yield through the turn. Running 6 would be unfortunate. No blocks. Sure. Okay. You know, I am hearing vague things going, hey, I bet. Hey, I bet. Sure. Wow. I'm about to get Maelstrom Pulsed, aren't I? Indeed. Indeed. Should have seen that one coming. So how dead are we? guess we start by Inquisitioning. So last card's a Thoughtseize. That kind of makes sense. And then what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to Fatal Push this during their turn. Because otherwise we are dead to run in 6. Mildly unfortunate. Yep. Fortunately, we have a swamp in our list, so we get to do... Kill... do that one. Kill that. And 6 doesn't do anything. And... okay. Yeah, sure. So last time against Jund, we took out all the discard spells, because I don't think that's the battle we want to be fighting. Bring in the Fatal Pushes. Bring in the K command. Bring in the Spell Bombs. Bring in the EE. Could bring in Unearth, but I think that's a little ambitious. And then, what did we go down last time? I think it was the Lava Darts. I mean, well, they're great for triggering Prowess, don't get me wrong. Just sacrificing resources to deal damage in this matchup's not great. This almost becomes a more of a Jund on Jund kind of battle. This hand isn't fantastic, but it's reasonable enough if our opponent keeps a somehow subpar Jund hand. So threatens a lot of damage very quickly, but once again it's Jund, so can't really count on much of anything. Yep. Either probably going to take Kiln Fiend or Fatal Push here, depending on how their removal spell situation is. They take Kiln Fiend. Bobwell's not terrible here. Do this, trigger that. Don't want to actually use it right now because they have discard spells. I think our only way of winning this game is to get them before they completely set up. Now we have a Fatal Push in hand. Yeah, it works. In some ways, I think it's actually better than traditional Prowess. We've just had some awkward mulliganing stuff, so you know that happens. Like, our losses, I think, have been more to... Other the Storm, sure. Whatevs. Okay. Yep. Yep, there's Glyph. So they played a Goyf out knowing that we have Fatal Push. Guess they're trying to work around for their Lurrus. Sure. Sure. Alright, that's a nice one. Probably gets to eat the bauble here. They choose to eat nothing. Alright. Put you to 5. So it goes to 4. Yep, it's to go to 3. Depends on what their last cards are. Because, like, if they just go Lurrus into whatever, then they're just dead to if we draw a land. Sure. Sure. Again, still dead. The same scenarios. And it's not necessarily lethal, but I still think we cast it here. Another Abbot. That's mildly unfortunate, but whatever. Really kind of hope to hang another land there. Yeah, that's a thing. Yep. Yep. Interesting. So force them to blow the bomb. Means they don't get to get the attack here. Is it better than regular burn? Don't know. It's different. That's all I can say. Sure. And engineer explosives. One card in hand. Sure. Feels like a scoop. Indeed. So it's not akin to burn, it's akin to another prowess deck. It's different, it's grindier. It still has the quick kill potential. Cling to Dust thus far has been moderately good to insane. Fatal Push is nice to have access to over something like Path to Exile. And Kolaghan's commands come up in several spots. Beyond that, this is just your run-of-the-mill prowess deck. Yeah, that's all I got. It's suffered from some... One loss was due to basically our opponent luck sacking out on a collected company, and another loss was to Tron having their god draws game 1 and game 2, and then game 3 we mulliganed to 5, and I made a slight error with what I thought seized, which I think wouldn't have mattered anyway because both players were on 5 and we kept a very mediocre 5. I think this hand is pretty good overall. Got a couple cantrips. We got a threat on 1. Well, we did have a threat on 1 anyway. If I'm our opponent, I take the Swift Spear. Just, even if you have answers in your hand, you just take the Swift Spear. They take the Bauble. Interesting. I suppose it might work out for them, but, you know, still feels a little suspect. Guess they have the, well, they probably have an easily have an answer to the Swift Spear. Turn 2 Goyf. Nope, turn 2 bolt. Alright. Alright, well, let's get rid of their bobble. Draw. Alright. Well, might get stuck on lands. Which would be unfortunate. And it will be good deck. Bad deck. Sure. Please don't fire up Raging Ravine. Okay, yep. Yep. Okie dokie. Interesting. Sure. Sure. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. Sure. So close, yet so far away. Now they get to Lurrus it back. Metamorphose, huh? So the big problem we have here is because I took down the shields for a turn and that Raging Ravine hit us the first time, now we're just basically dead. So like, unless our opponent goes completely brain dead, they just have us with Raging Ravine here. So my thought process on the deck would be twofold. Number one, it feels more akin to a Death Shadow or a Jund deck than your traditional Prowess / burn situation. That said, its closing speed and grinding power are both pretty good. And despite the 2 and 3 record, I would say, pending Monday's companion adjustment, I could easily see this being one of the best decks in Modern. It's different. I think I severely screwed up some sequencing at points. And I kept some loose hands that maybe I shouldn't have. So we took Jund to 3 games. We took Devoted Company to 3 games. Tron was a bit of an aberration, I think, from a mulligan and keep standpoint. So, even though the results weren't favorable, I think the fact that we squared off against Jund twice, and even felt at points like we could outgrind them, and then Tron, I think the deck was heavily skewed towards beating red variants, and the Devoted Druid deck was heavily skewed towards beating red variants, to the point of having Auriok Champion main deck in addition to Kitchen Finks. So I hesitate to say that it's the best deck in the format, but it definitely feels really, really good, despite the record. So, anywho, this has been John for MTG Nexus. I'm going to be signing off here tonight. We'll be back tomorrow night with some traditional, well, more traditional red-white burn with Lurrus. Might be the last hurrah for Lurrus in the modern format on the channel. We'll see. Depends on how badly WotC nerfs the companion mechanic. Guess we'll find out. But anyways, this has been John for MTG Nexus. Hope everybody has a great night.